Do you find yourself constantly being strung along by men who say they aren't yet ready for a relationship? But even after you wait and wait and wait, nothing ever changes. It's painful, I know, but it is avoidable, which is why on today's show, we're going to be discussing what you must do if he's not ready for a relationship. That way, you can finally stop wasting your life away, sitting around, watching paint dry, waiting for the day he'll make you his girlfriend. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please stay here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. Welcome all of you beautiful souls on this Monday afternoon. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you once again. We back at it again. I see we got over in the TikTok chat, we got Sharice here, we got SH here. I see we got Sarah here. I believe I seen Scotty here. Scotty is here. April's here. I see JT, Angelica, Adorable, Abigail, Francesca. Welcome all of you beautiful people. How you guys doing? Over in the YouTube chat, who we got? We got Tracy Now. Shout out to Tracy Now. She was first in the YouTube chat today, and Island as well. Of course, we got Ivy, one of our channel members. Of course, we got, I see Special K here. I see Enlightened A here as well. And Ashley, you know, Ashley and Ivy are like 1A and 1B, right? And who else we got? We got Alchemy and we got another Ashley. Welcome all of you beautiful souls. And of course, we got Missy America tying it all together and holding us down in the YouTube chat. Welcome. Good to see you guys. All right, let's get started today. We got a lot to discuss and we gonna go deep today. All right, so prepare yourself, prepare your mind, prepare your body and soul and spirit, all that good stuff. All right, so we're gonna get started with number one. Number one is going to be that you must let go. Okay? You must let go. Now, specifically, I actually want to address this and I want to call it something even better than let go. So let's call number one, let go, AKA remind yourself of the floating rock. Okay? The floating rock reminder. Now, the reason I call it the floating rock reminder is because letting go sounds easy, like simple in theory. Yeah, just let it go. Yeah, just don't care. That's what everyone says. Just don't care. Just detach yourself. Who cares, right? Like, yeah, that sounds easy. Sounds nice to just say out loud. But in reality, we all are human beings. We all have emotions. We all have feelings. So it's not that easy to just let go. It's not that easy to just say, I don't care. All right. And the reason I want to call it also the floating rock reminder is because I want you to say to yourself and remind yourself that, look, I understand that this guy is showing me a lot of signs that he's probably not that interested in me and that he's probably not that serious about this relationship. I accept that to be true, and I'm okay with that reality. In fact, I live, right? This is where the floating rock comes in. I am a human being on a floating rock that's moving through space at hundreds of thousands of miles an hour. It's a miracle that I'm even here existing in the first place. And there is so many vast possibilities in my life and of this world that just because a single boy does not take me seriously or want to make me his girlfriend, it is not the end of the world. My life still goes on. Look, I can still feel my body parts. Everything's still fine. I'm still okay. I still have hair. Some of you, maybe some of you don't have hair, right? I still look good. I'm still attractive. When I look in the mirror, I'm whole. Okay, I'm fine. Nothing happened to me just because a boy that I liked or I wanted to be in a relationship with didn't necessarily want to take this relationship seriously and build something with me. Okay, right? And I want you to remind yourself, I'm on a floating rock with so many possibilities, right? And so many things, great, amazing things that can happen to me, happen for me, happen to me, that it is perfectly fine if this guy, who most of you I've just met, right? For most of you, it's a guy that I just met and don't even really know, okay? So not even someone that you're really that heavily invested in. It's okay if this guy doesn't like me or this guy isn't taking this relationship seriously. That's perfectly fine. And I need you to, the reason I call it floating rock method and letting go is because I need you to shed yourself of the shame that you feel as if because he doesn't like you, it's my fault. No, 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 no. He doesn't like me. It's perfectly fine. That's his own thing. I give that to you. You can deal with the concept and the idea of figuring out why it is that you don't like me. I am perfectly okay with that. I accept that to be true, and it does not bother me, okay? It's not about not feeling the thing. It's about accepting it to be true, but also realizing that your life is still good, even if that thing is true. So just because a random stranger, like Melita just said right now, right? Even just because a random stranger who you just met a couple of weeks ago isn't taking this relationship serious, that doesn't mean that your life is over. It also doesn't mean that you're a horrible person or you're lacking something that all the men are looking for. And because you're lacking that thing, that's the reason why he doesn't like you. Because here's the thing. And the reason I make this point so important and I make it number one is because I know for you as a woman, this is actually something that I've been able to learn from you all by doing this show, right? And understanding how you guys think and operate. I know that one of the things on your mind when a guy rejects you or a guy doesn't want to take you seriously is the shame you feel as if you must not like me or there must be something wrong with me because you don't want to be with me. And a lot of times, especially for you, the woman, you can put a lot of onus and a lot of importance on how much a guy wants you and desires you or how little he wants you and how little he desires you. So when guys are showing you that they may not desire you that much or they may not want to take you that seriously, you start to look at yourself as that this is meant to be a reflection of me and the things that I'm doing wrong, how ugly I am, how unattractive I am. I had someone say a couple days ago in the Discord, it must be because I have a big nose. And it must be because my nose shape is a little bit off and it's a little bit, I'm not as perfectly asymmetrical because of my nose. And if it was just not for my nose, then I would get all the men that I could possibly dream of, you know? And you start thinking to yourself, what is it that is wrong with me is the reason why the guys don't want me or don't chase after me or don't pursue after me, right? And the moment you start thinking like that, that's when everything in your life will start to spiral out of control. Because each stranger, remember I said each stranger that you meet and you go out on a date with, your entire world, right? Remember, I just told you you're living on a floating rock, but you shrink your world down to my world is only as big as this guy right in front of me, the stranger that I'm meeting. And if this stranger that I'm meeting right now isn't absolutely in love with me and wants to build a relationship with me, then I literally, my life is over. This is so embarrassing for me. I'm the worst person ever. I'm literally a loser. I shouldn't even step out of my house if this stranger that I just met and don't know from anywhere, from a can of paint, doesn't want me. Right? Obviously, when I talk about it like that, you're kind of realizing, yeah, it's kind of silly to put that much importance on someone I don't even know, right? And that most of the time doesn't even know me. So their judgment of me when they say they're not ready for a relationship, it's not even like they know me enough to even make that determination a lot of the times anyways. Right? Because majority of the time when guys are telling you they're not ready for a relationship is because they're not even invested in you in the first place. They're not asking you questions about you. They're not curious about getting to know you more. And so majority of your relationship anyways has mostly been about him and meeting his needs. And most of his needs are just jackrabbiting himself inside you for 90 seconds. And aside from that, there is no connection there in the first place. So what is he even making the determination of in terms of wanting to be with you or not? Off of nothing. He doesn't know you, right? And so that's what I want you to constantly be reminding yourself of when you're in these relationships and even these situations. Well, I shouldn't even call them relationships. These situationships, right? Where you're sitting around and you're thinking to yourself, well, are you ready yet? When are you going to be ready? When are we going to take this relationship to the next level? I'm sitting around, I'm waiting around, I'm looking at the clock every 10 minutes. I'm watching paint dry because I'm sitting around waiting for you to tell me when you're ready for me. Remember, I told you before, okay? And I tell you this all the time, and I never want you to forget my voice and my words and forget my face even. I told you before, when the guys are approaching you, when you're doing this the right way, you're doing nothing and you're allowing the men to approach you, you're already in a position of power. That's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing for you, and that's how it's meant to be. You're in a position of power because he wants something from you, right? He wants you. He wants access to you. And because you're in a position of power, You don't need to do more for him in order to get him. You're not getting him. He's the one trying to get you. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, observe, and listen, and decide to yourself, are you the person that I'm looking for? So when a guy comes along in your life and he shows you that he's not prepared to take you and this relationship seriously, you shed yourself of the shame or the importance that you put on what he thinks of you. Because at the end of the day, what he thinks of you is not relevant to who you are. It's a stranger, right? The only person you actually care about what they think of you, right, are the people who are actually close to you in your life, and then eventually your long-term romantic partner. And if that person's not going to end up being your long-term romantic partner because they're not ready to be in a relationship with you, then it doesn't matter what he thinks anyways. Okay, something to remind yourself of so that when this is happening, you're not sitting around anxiously waiting, thinking to yourself, oh my God, I feel like I just want to know why you don't want to be in this relationship. And I just want to know what is it about me that's making you not ready? I just want to think to myself, should I scrub the floor a little bit more squeaky clean? Should I put on a nicer maid outfit? Maybe if I put on a tighter pair of jeans, you'll like those tighter pair of jeans and you'll look at my dump truck and you'll realize that I'm the one that you know. No. Don't start spiraling out of control, because the worst thing that you can do is when a man is not ready for a relationship, you immediately start thinking in your mind, what can I do to make you ready? Okay? I want you to remember that in the process of you letting go, there is no action that you can take towards him that will make him realize, because you did the action, that he is now ready to be in a relationship with you. I know obviously this is called do this if he's not ready for a relationship, but you'll clue into what I'm talking about. When I say do this, this is not about doing the thing so that he'll come to the realization. This is about giving him the space so that he can come to his own realization. But you're not in control of that realization. That's okay. Okay? Right? You let go of trying to control the fact that you want him to see you and want you. You allow him the space to decide if he truly wants you and wants to be with you. Why? Because that's a way more powerful and long-lasting, sustainable realization. Because when he comes to that realization on his own, when you give him the space to come to that realization, he will then take action on that realization. You will never be able to convince a man to want to be in a relationship with you when he has never wanted to be in a relationship with you in the first place. Are you following along with me so far? Okay. By the way, I wanted to acknowledge, who was it that donated here so early on? It was Anitra Watkins. Thank you so much for donating $1. I appreciate you so much, right? So number one, you must let go, because at the end of the day, it does not affect you or your value if a guy that you just met anyways doesn't want to take this relationship to the next level. Now that we understand your mindset, now that we understand where you need to be mentally and spiritually, emotionally, all that good stuff. Now here comes the real strategy, okay? Because we need to get your mindset right in the first place before we come to our real deal strategy. So number one, after you let go, right? Number two, this is super, okay. Number two, everyone, now pull up your pants, no more pooping, okay? Everyone's paying attention, eyes on me, look in my eyes, pay very close attention to my voice, okay? Because this number two part, this is where everything gets going, and this is where everything is very, very important now. You can't miss a beat here. Number two, you must draw a line. You must draw a very clear line. Listen to me. This is very important. I'm not joking. You must draw a very clear line in the sand. If you are not prepared to build and work towards a long-term serious relationship with me, you will not get any access to me whatsoever. Not a little bit. We're not going to go to the ice cream shop and hang out as friends. I'm not going to text you and call you. I'm not going to send you memes. I'm not going to watch your videos with you. I'm not going to watch Netflix shows and movies with you. We're not going to hang out casually. We're not going to go grab some lunch or grab a bite to eat. We're doing nothing together. I don't know you. I don't care about you. I'm not going to hang out with you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to call you. I don't want to be friends with you. Nothing. I'm going to blow a gasket in a second. This is hyper important because a lot of you are making this horrible mistake. When a guy tells you that he's not ready to be in a relationship with you, your mind goes to, okay, let me wait. You wait for nothing. You wait for Don't get me mad. You wait for nothing and you wait for no one. Because when people sense that you're going to wait on them hand and knee, right? Literally, for some of you, literally waiting on them hand and knee for him to accept you and finally want to be with you, he's going to think to himself, what a useless, desperate piece of garbage. Quite useless, quite desperate, quite not the kind of girl that I want to be with. Why? Because if I just told you that I don't want you and I don't want to build something with you, and you're still here waiting for me, you're still here smiling saying, well, I'll just wait until you do decide to like me. You look so emotionally weak. There is no chance he will ever have respect for you after that. Because why are you waiting on a man who has just made it clear to you he does not want to build anything with you? Why are you giving and investing yourself into a man who has just made it clear to you he has no intention, as it currently stands, of investing in you? You actually put yourself in a situation where you're literally you're bonding yourself the closest with a guy who has little to no respect for you. In fact, in some weird cases, you're bonding yourself the closest to a man who actively dislikes you, has resentment towards you, or even hates you. Because he's so disgusted with the fact that you have so little respect for yourself that even when he tells you he doesn't want you, you still sit there and talk and wait for him to want you while telling him how much you want him. You are not an individual. You're like an empty shell that he can project any one of his feelings and thoughts towards on, tell you or convince you of anything, and you will go along with it because you have nothing better going for you. This is why I want you paying very, very close attention. You must. I want you to hear me in your sleep, while you're dreaming, when you wake up, when you brush your teeth, when you take a shower. You must draw a line in the sand so that it is very clear. Once he lets you know he is not interested in being in a relationship with you, or even if he just likes to say, because men will try to soften the blow by saying, I'm just not ready yet. You draw a line in the sand and you give him zero access to you whatsoever, right? Not because you're upset, not because you're angry or mad, but because you value your own time, your own investment, and your own energy. And it does not make sense for you to be investing any of your time or energy into someone who is not trying to build anything with you. It does not make logical sense for you. You only have a limited amount of time on this earth. If your life was a bunch of boxes, right, on a big, large sheet, and your days that you were on this earth were a bunch of boxes, and each passing day, one box was getting ticked off, right? You only have a limited amount of boxes to tick off before you run out of boxes. So why would you waste those valuable boxes that you only have a limited amount of doing something that's not going to benefit you in the long run, right? Why would you waste this time waiting on someone who is unsure about you or unsure about what they want this relationship with you to be? Especially when it's you, the woman, and you are with a man who has to be the one pursuing you. And the only way he can pursue you or chase after you, however you want to describe it, is if he is intentional about that because he wants to be with you, because he wants you. So if he can't be intentional about that because he's unsure of how he feels about you, or he's unsure about what he wants to do in this relationship, then that is a complete and utter waste of your time, putting any of your own time and investment into it. I want us to all be so clear here, because this is the excuse that some of you will try to use, and it makes me so mad. You're going to get me mad, and I already know it. The excuse that some of you will use, well, I'm not really looking for anything serious in the first place. I just wanted to chill with him anyways. He said he's not ready for a relationship, but I don't know if I'm really ready for a relationship anyways. And he has some good D game, so I'm just going to use him for my own pleasure too. This is for my pleasure too. I just want things to be casual too. You are wasting your life away. You have such a valuable life. And you're a woman, not a man, okay? That's perfectly fine. That's a good thing. You don't need to try to operate like the man. I just want to be casual. I just want to play it cool. I just want to be here for my pleasure. You want to know why? Because it's an absolute waste of your time. And the thing about it is, this is why I say your mind is playing tricks on you. Because when a man doesn't want you, right? Or he tells you in so many words or with his actions that, hey, I'm just not ready for a relationship yet. Maybe one day down the line, I'll be ready for a relationship. See, your ego doesn't want to feel horrible, right? And your ego also doesn't want to feel like you've been rejected by someone that you like and have been investing in. So your ego will say, okay, let's do this thing where rather than facing rejection or accepting the fact that we just got rejected, right? Or this person doesn't want to take this seriously. Let's twist our understanding of the situation into something where it's like, oh, you said you're not ready yet, but I'm not even ready yet. What are you talking about? Like, I'm not even ready yet either for a relationship. Like, I don't want a relationship like with you. Like, we're just hanging out. We're just buddies. Like, we're just friends. Like, take a chill pill. I didn't want anything to do with you either, right? And your ego is going to try to twist this situation into something that's more palatable and digestible for you to deal with and say to yourself, well, yeah, you're not ready for a relationship yet, and neither am I. It's not like I liked you this whole time and was really trying to build something with you, and then you're the one not trying to build anything with me. No, it's not a one-way street. It's literally both of us. Like, we're both here just looking for fun. I'm just looking for fun. I just want enjoyment. I don't want commitment. I'm just here for the fun. None of the romantic stuff, none of the others. You want to be a cool girl, right? You want to be a cool girl, a cool kid that, hey, I'm not bothered by anything. I'm just here for the fun as well. But the problem is, what ends up happening is your ego tried to twist it and confuse you and turn it into something that it's not. But the longer you spend time with him and the more you spend time with him, you only end up thinking to yourself, damn, I know we were just doing a fun thing, but like, are you never going to want to be in a relationship with me? Are you never going to want to build with me? Like, I know we're just friends, but like, so you never want to take me out for a date? Are we only going to Netflix and chill? Like, I know we were just friends, but like, so you're going to explore other relationships with other girls. So why are you dating this girl instead of dating me when I've been everything that you say you've been wanting, right? And as soon as, just as fast as you thought you could convince yourself that this is all about fun and this is all about, not taking things seriously, just that fast, you're bothered by the fact that he's exploring other relationships with other women. And you're sitting there thinking to yourself, well, I'm just as good as that woman, or I offer even more to you than that woman does, right? Why do you choose her over me? Why do you want to be with her over me? Right? Because in reality, you wanted to be in that relationship with him. That's not a crime, okay? That's not a crime. That's perfectly fine. Don't ignore your feelings. See, I know we call it the Players Club, so everyone thinks about playing people, ignoring your feelings. Don't think about emotions, just scheme on people and play games until you're tired of playing games. But in reality, it's way deeper than that. It's so much more about the emotional, the mental, the spiritual. And part of that is accepting the fact that, hey, I do want to connect with people. I do want to build romantic relationships with people. And yes, it's disappointing if I want to build a romantic relationship with someone and they don't seem equally as invested in me. However, despite it being disappointing to me, that does not mean I'm going to sacrifice my valuable time and energy waiting for you to want to be invested in me. Because I have enough self-respect for myself that I cannot waste these valuable moments and times of my life waiting for someone to eventually one day be ready to be in a relationship with me. When I know I have so much amazing awesomeness to give someone and so much love to give someone who actually is ready for that. Okay? Right? So you draw a line in the sand. You're not going to be friends. You're not going to be casual. You're not going to chit chat. None of the time wasting stuff that you'll convince yourself is okay while you sit around and wait for him to eventually want to be with you. I need to be so clear about this because I know we're in the Players Club now and we're having a chit chat now, so it seems easy in theory. But I know when you go back to the guy that you really like, I know when you're in the situationship with the guy that you really want this to work with, you're going to find any reason to convince yourself why if we just chat, it's not a big deal because, he just got one thing to do. And before he does the one thing, then, then our situation will be better and then things will work out. Because a lot of times, whether it be he's not ready for a relationship because, he just got out of one, right? Or he's not ready for a relationship because, he's married for some of you. For some of you, that's really the truth. Or he's not ready for a relationship because he still has a girlfriend, right? And he's waiting to break up with his girlfriend, or he's waiting to divorce his wife, right? Or he's got to deal with this issue, or got to deal with the work issue, or got to deal with whatever issue it is he's got to deal with before he's ready to be in a relationship. You need to realize that if he's not ready, there is a black and white line in the sand, right? There's no confusion. If you're not ready for me, you don't get any of me until you are ready for me. That's going to be painful for both you and him because because what's going to happen then is until he's ready, nothing's going to happen. There's going to be no conversation. There's going to be no communication. There's going to be no text messages. There's going to be no nothing. But that's exactly and precisely what I want you to be doing. Okay? Right? And I seen Ashley talk about the friend zone. You don't even friend zone the guy. You don't allow him to friend zone you. You do not wait on a man to want to be with you, especially when you came into that situation trying to build a romantic relationship. There is no friends after that. And that's what a lot of you are making the mistake of. That's what most of you are making the mistake of, is that you think, okay, after we acknowledge that you're not ready for a relationship, let's just go back to being friends. Even if, let's just say we don't sleep together, we'll just be casual friends that don't do anything crazy together. And then in the process of us being casual friends, maybe one day you'll come to the realization that you actually want to build this relationship with me. That is also a grave mistake, because you will only find yourself in a position down the line where you're deeply invested in him, but he's also exploring other relationships. Or you get convinced that, okay, we're just friends, but maybe we're friends that kiss sometimes when we get drunk. Or maybe we're just friends, but maybe, if we go out and we have a really good time, you could grab my dump truck for a little bit and then I'll get horned up and then we'll sleep together. But like, we're still kind of friends-ish thing. By the way, are you ready to build a relationship yet or no? And it just becomes a jumbled up mess and a waste of your time. You need to have clarity, not just for the men, you need to have clarity for yourself so that you can be hyper aware of, if I'm investing in you, that's because this relationship is going to a place that I want it to go, and we're of the same mindset and on the same page, flowing in the same direction. If I'm investing my time and energy into you and we're not on the same page, you're thinking it's this friends with benefits, this casual thing, and I'm thinking it's meant to be something serious. Whoa. I take back my investment. I take back my time and energy. I put it back into myself. I have so much more energy now. I take it away from you because I can't be giving it to you if you're not here for the same reason that I'm here. Doesn't make any sense. And I'm the only one that ends up losing if I do that. Okay? Dragonfly says access denied. 100%, right? You must be very clear. Now, let me tell you another thing that's super important, okay? I want you paying attention. Another mistake you're going to make when you try to draw the line. You're going to think, okay, if I want to draw the line because he's not ready for a relationship, now it's time for me to announce to him that I am drawing a line. Look here, mister. I'm just here to let you know, because you're going to text it, right? Because you're a textaholic. So you're going to go like this. I'm here to let you know that I am not going to sit around and wait for you to want to be with me. I'm here to let you know that I'm so amazing. Don't you see the size of my dump truck? Let me take a picture of it. Snap. Chick. Yeah. Don't you see the size of my dump truck? Don't you see how beautiful I am? Don't you see my yitties? Let me take a picture. Chick. Don't you see how amazing I am? Don't you see how much any man would desire me? Let me send him a screenshot of some of my DMs. All the men want me. They want to be with me. So I'm announcing to you, hereby, hear hey, all who throughout the land, let it be known that you shall no longer have access to me or anything that goes on between my legs now and forevermore until you come to the realization that you want to be in a relationship with me. It's a waste of your time. Complete and utter waste of your time. You get nothing accomplished by doing that. You're only trying to make yourself feel better and feel like you're doing something by announcing that to him. I need you to understand what you're doing here is not peacocking to show him how big and bad you are. All you're doing is protecting yourself and withdrawing from him and giving him the space to come to his own realization. Whatever that realization is, you accept it wholeheartedly. Okay? This texting him on the phone and making your announcement known to everyone and letting it be known how you're going to withdraw. Don't send me TikTok videos because I'm not going to respond to those. Don't send me Instagram reels. I won't even like those. Don't send me memes on Facebook. I'm not going to ignore. All of that is worthless and useless, right? You're just making an announcement to make yourself feel better, as if when you make the announcement, he's going to say, oh my goodness, you're making this announcement be known that I'm not going to have access to you if I'm not ready to be serious with you. Well, now that's going to make me real. See, you've done the job of making me realize that I want to be with you now that you tell me how you're not going to answer my DMs or answer my memes or answer my reels or answer my TikTok videos. Now that I realize how little you're going to Snapchat me, I know that I want to be with you. No. Right? That's not going to happen. And that's not even what you should be trying to inspire by doing that, because that truthfully and honestly, that's what you're trying to inspire when you go to him and you announce your withdrawal. Okay? Stop doing that. Stop doing that. That's not how you draw a line. Okay? By announcing the fact that you're going to draw a line. You draw a line by just doing the thing. Okay? So when you're just doing the thing by drawing a line, you literally just say, oh, cool. So you're not ready to be in a relationship. And this is part of the thing too, where when you get good at asking questions, when you get good at pulling information out of people, and then he lets you know something like that, you don't overreact in the moment, right? So if he tells you that in person on a date, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I know I really like you and I know we're trying to build something, but I'm not really ready for a relationship. You just say, oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I do have a really important thing, like yoga lesson to go to. It's hot yoga, so I got to make sure I'm on time for it. And I know it's 9 p.m. at night, but I really love doing hot yoga at 9 p.m. at night. So I'll probably talk to you later sometime, and we'll meet up once again sometime. And you, as you're on your way home, you just have in your mind, I'm never talking to you again. I'm never going to see you again. I don't even want to speak to you again until you come to me the right way. Okay, you don't got to announce it. You don't got to tell him what you're about to do. You don't even got to show it on your face. You just let him think, oh yeah, sure, okay, cool. If that's how you feel, perfectly fine with me. You move forward, right? You move forward. You let him do what he was going to do, and then you actually withdraw. Okay, actually withdraw. You actually draw a line in the sand. Because no man is going to have access to you if he's not prepared to approach you in the right way. Right? Does that make sense? Yanel says, what if he doesn't say this, right? If he doesn't come out and say it, right, you'll still feel it in so many without necessarily him saying it, because you'll be like, this isn't moving anywhere. So let it be known to those of you who are confused. If he's not saying it, then how do I know he's really doing it? Trust me, if the relationship is not taking any steps forward, right? After months and months and months, then he's telling you that without saying it. Okay? He's doing it, Dragonfly says. Dragonfly so smart. So let go. The floating rock reminder is number 1. Drawing a line, number 2, and it's hyper important. Now, number 3, I want you specifically during this time period in which you have now drawn a line. So he's not getting any access to you. This means you're not answering text messages. This means you're not answering phone calls. You're not answering nothing, because you don't need to be doing anything with a guy who is not who is not ready to build a relationship with you. Okay, right? Cece, let me even address something very important that I see a lot of people saying, just block him, just block him. I want you all to understand, blocking serves a particular purpose. Blocking doesn't always serve the same purpose all the time. So what I mean by that is in this specific situation in which he's not ready for a relationship, or he's communicating to you that he's not ready for a relationship, you still do want to give him the opportunity to come to the realization that he is ready, and that was a grave mistake he made by not being ready. And like, he knows now that he wants you badly and he wants this to go somewhere, right? You want to allow guys the space to come to that realization. If you block him, you're never going to know if he's come to that realization and he's actually ready to build something with you, okay? So this is not meant to be a, I'm done with you forever, I wash my hands of you. You wash your hands of the idea that you're gonna wait on him. But if he does come to the realization that he is ready to be who you need him to be, and he's ready to adjust himself and be serious and committed to you, then that's a totally different story. Now you can entertain him and see where things go, okay, right? Blocking serves a particular purpose. In this scenario in which he tells you he's not yet ready for a relationship, you don't want to block him and never give him an opportunity to say, okay, I am ready, and when I was without you, I realized that I need to be with you, right? Because you have to understand, right? Drawing the line is also about giving him the space to realize what life is like without you. So actually, this is perfectly segues into number 3, which is enjoy yourself. The reason number 3 is enjoy yourself is because you want him to be able to contrast for himself how his life feels when he is without you versus how his life felt when he was with you, while also being able to see that your life has gone on without him and still good, okay? So whether he's seeing that directly or indirectly, whether he's seeing that through social media or hearing about it through friends, or seeing it at a party or at an event or whatever, at a gathering, right? He's able to observe what your life is like without him versus what his life is like without you, versus what his life was like with you in it, okay? And I want you to enjoy yourself for multiple reasons, because I want him to also see that. And I also want you to see that for yourself, that your life is also good without him. So that means you got to go out and start doing things for yourself. That means you got to go to places that you enjoy. If you like riding horses, go to the stable and start riding your horses, okay? If you like salsa dancing, I think that was a part of a story that someone mentioned a couple of days ago. You go and sign up for your salsa dancing classes, okay? Right? You go and just start living your life for you. But in the process of you living your life for you, you'll be a happier person, but he'll also take note of the fact that you're a happier person without him in your life. He'll also take note of how he feels when you're not in his life. And if he comes to the realization that, damn, I was thinking I wasn't ready for a relationship, but now that I'm experiencing my life without her in it, I'm realizing that I would rather commit myself to her and have her in my life than I would sit back, relax, and not do anything and not be committed to her while simultaneously not having her in my life anymore. Okay? And guys need to see that and be convinced to themselves that if they're not prepared to be committed to you, then you will move forward. Okay? It's very, very, very important for guys to feel that way and come to that realization, because this is part of where his decision making will have to come into play. He'll literally be forced to decide to himself, okay, I am between a rock and a hard place. Either I commit myself to her and I get her 100%, or I say that I'm not ready, say that I'm unsure, but I get nothing of her. And in fact, I get nothing of her. She enjoys her life. And maybe when I am ready, she then meets a man who is ready. And then when I'm ready and I go to her and I say, I'm ready to give you everything that you are asking for, she's already moved forward and I no longer even have an opportunity. What this does is it forces the guys who want you or want to be in a relationship with you, it lights a fire under their butt and it gets them to make a decision real fast. Trust me, a man will never move faster than when he thinks he's about to lose you. So in combination with you drawing a line and then also enjoying yourself and your life, he's going to feel like, oh no, I'm starting to sweat a little bit. I didn't know when I said I wasn't ready for a relationship, I didn't realize you were going to move forward. When I said I wasn't ready for a relationship, I thought you were going to sit around and wait for me to be ready. It seems like you're actually prepared to move right forward on with your life, and you're attractive. People like you. I just kind of feel like a really rich man with a Rolex and a Lamborghini is going to come along, and he's going to have a lot more to offer you than me. Hold on. Baby girl, come on, wait a second. Hold on. So I know last week I said that I wasn't ready for a relationship, but I want you to know, like, I came to some realizations over the past couple days. Then, the situation, it's crazy. I was going through a divorce, and, now I signed the divorce papers yesterday. So you want to be in a relationship now? I was thinking about doing it, and things came up, and I was able to get it done. Right. You'll be shocked how fast men can get things done when they feel like they're about to miss out on the opportunity that is you. Okay, I'm so serious. I know it sucks that people have to feel like they're about to lose you and miss out on you before they actually come to realizations of how much they want to invest themselves into you. But the reality of it is we can't fight how people respond to things. We can only work alongside that and realize how to use that to our advantage, which is exactly what we're doing here in the Players Club today. The reality of it is, there will never be a more motivated version of that man in terms of being ready for a relationship than when he realizes he's going to lose out on the opportunity of being with you in a relationship. The reality of it is, the longer you sit around and wait, hoping that one day he'll come to that realization, the more time you'll end up wasting. And actually, the less it will be likely to happen, because he won't have that sense of urgency. Right? He won't have that fire lit under his butt where he feels like he needs to get up and start moving. Okay? I know it sounds crazy, but the less that you do, the more of nothing that you do, the more urgency you put under men, especially when you do nothing in combination with enjoying yourself and living your life. You put a lot of urgency inside men that want you, because they feel like, if I am not urgent with my actions, if I'm not intentional with my movements, if I don't move forward in a direction that is necessary to get what I want in terms of her and this relationship, I will lose her. Okay? You men, trust me, men are the nicest to you, the most respectful to you, and they take the best care of their relationship with you when they have a certain sense of urgency in that relationship, right? When they have motivators that are getting them up to do the thing and be the best and put their best foot forward. When you sit around and you wait for guys, or you sit around being friends with guys, where you sit around doing a casual things with guys, where you sit around, oh, I'm just here for my own pleasure. No, go get you that Tracy's dog. Go get you that sucking vibe. Go get you something that will take care of your urges, where you're not seeking casual pleasure from a guy who's not even being intentional with you. Okay? By the way, for those of you who want the Tracy's dog that I always refer to, because I refer to the same one all the time, I have actually made a link, like an affiliate link, that you can go down to. It's in the link in my description on YouTube, and you can get that for a discount if you don't have that, and that's really something important to you. Okay, just making you aware of that. So very, very hyper important that you know how to do that. You're drawing a line, and simultaneously in you and drawing a line, you're enjoying yourself, so that he can see and take notice of the fact that not only will I not have access to you, but you're going to move on with your life. And there's a high likelihood that you're going to find someone who actually is intentional with you, that actually does respect you and take this relationship seriously. And in the process of you finding that person, when I am finally ready, I might just lose out on you forever. That's how you light a fire under a guy's butt, and that's how you give him a sense of urgency. Okay? So number 1 was letting go, right? Number 2 was drawing a line, and it is so important. I could talk about that all day. Number 3, you must enjoy yourself. Now, number 4, this is also hyper important. Pay very close attention to me. Look in my eyes and really soak in my words into your being. Number 4, you must stay put. What I mean by stay put, When guys get anxious with the feeling that you are moving forward, enjoying your life, and when they also realize, because this is the thing, you don't have to announce that you're withdrawing, but someone who you withdraw from, who is accustomed with you being heavily invested in him, is going to realize that you withdrew. When he realizes that you withdrew, he's going to say, whoa, that's not good. It's not a good sign for me. I need to reel you back in. So he's going to use a plethora of tips and tricks. He's going to use a plethora of different strategies to try to reel you back in. What I mean by reel you back in, he wants to get you in a place where, despite him saying that he's not ready for a relationship with you, he does not want to have zero access to you, because that's a lose for him. That's a loss for him. He's trying to make it clear that he's not ready for a relationship with you, so that he can preface the fact that, hey, we're going to spend time with each other, but you should not have any expectation of where this is going to go. And a lot of times guys will try to present it to you in a way that softens the blow and makes you feel like you should still explore this because there's hope there. It's the drug called hopium that we're always referring to in the Players Club, that guys will try to get you hooked on, because they know if you're hooked on hopium, you'll constantly be coming back for more. And as long as he feeds you just enough hopium that you're thinking about what could eventually happen in the future of the relationship, you'll continue entertaining the relationship and giving your all in the relationship with the hope that one day this will turn into something. But it never does. So I say all that to say, a man you need to stay put, because a man will attempt to utilize strategies to get you off of this stance that you're taking, where you're withdrawing from him and you're drawing a black and white line in the sand, where is either you're invested in me and this relationship and you get me, but if you're not and you're not ready for me, then you get none of me. So guys are going to say, oh, well, I hope you know, like, girl, like, I still like you, like, I still think you're cool. I still love hanging out with you. Damn. He's going to text you things like this. Damn. So you're just not going to message me anymore? You're literally going to ignore me now? What, do you not care about me whatsoever? Like, was all of this fake? Are you just like going to disappear on me now? Right? Guys are going to attempt to guilt you, make you feel bad for withdrawing yourself after he just made it clear that he doesn't want to build anything with you. Why? Because he doesn't want you to not be around. That's not what he wanted. He wants you to still be around. He just doesn't want you to have the expectation that this is going to turn into something. He wants you to stay there long enough, right, that he can continue utilizing you, right, in just enough fashion that he can get you when he wants to get you, but he does not want to ever have to commit himself to you. And he also doesn't want to have to address the fact that he hasn't committed himself to you when it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months down the line. He can continue referring back to whatever situation he brought up before. It's work, it's my divorce, it's my relationship that's not going well, and it's messy, and we got a kid, and we got this, and we got a house, we got an apartment, we got a dog, and so I can't really do it right now, but you know I want you and I want to spend time with you. Oh, by the way, can you come over and Netflix and chill with me? Can I jackrabbit myself inside of you for 90 seconds? But look, you know, maybe one day we'll eventually be in a relationship, but that day is just not today, maybe one day. And it's just a constant cycle, right? So when they see that you have withdrawn from him, and he sees that you actually made a decision to have some self-respect, what he's going to do is he's going to attempt to get you back invested, reel you back in by either guilt tripping you or giving you some sort of emergency. We've talked about that in past shows, or any type of strategy that he can use to get you back here, not withdrawn, because that is the last thing that he wants. If you've withdrawn, then his strategy is not working. Because I want you to understand, when guys tell you they're not ready for a relationship, they're not telling you that so that they'll never have access to you again. They're telling you that so that they can still have access to you while not committing themselves to you. And also so that they cover their own behind when they start sleeping with other girls, they start exploring other relationships. You can't say a word about it because he told you all the different reasons he's not ready for one. You understand what I'm saying? Right? And it's like a double-edged sword, right? He gets to protect his own behind while simultaneously still getting all of the access that he wants with you. Okay, so you lose both ways. So you need to stay put and be anticipating the fact that when you do withdraw, right, Because remember, in this scenario, when I told you to draw a line, I told you don't announce the fact that you're drawing a line. But you also have to remember, guys are not going to let you go easy. They're not going to let go of their grip, or their control of you easy. They want to keep that. So you need to stay put and remember that as soon as you withdraw and he identifies that you withdrawn, he's going to attempt to make this difficult for you to withdraw. He's going to start sending you all these memes and sending you all these reels. He's going to start talking to you about this situation that really matters to him. He's going to start telling you things like, damn, so you don't care about me? Damn, so I thought you were going to be here for me and help me with my situation, help me with my brother, help me with my sister, my best friend, my this, my that. Right? And all these different things to make you feel like you should be here for him. You should be back invested in him, despite the fact that he just made it clear to you he's not trying to grow any sort of relationship with you. Very confusing, but a very good tactic for him to use on you when he sees that you've withdrawn from him. So you have to stay put and remind yourself, this is a tactic. This is a strategy. If you really think to yourself, I want you to always be reminding yourself, if it was really that important to you that I was there for you, if it was really that important to you that I was by your side, or I had your back, or I was available to speak to you and have heart to hearts with you and help you get through these things emotionally, if that was truly that deeply important to you, you would have no issue investing yourself in me and trying to build a long-term romantic relationship with me. You need to remind yourself how those two things don't correlate. When a guy is trying to guilt you for not properly investing in him in this relationship, or not speaking to him, or calling him back, or texting him back, or helping him with the thing that you said you were going to be there for him for, you have to understand that if it was truly that important, he would, and you were truly that important of a person in his life, he would never have had an issue with committing himself to you. It's the same reason why I tell you that guys, especially for those of you who are dealing, because I know, I'm not an idiot, I'm not a dum-dum. I know some of you are dealing with men who are either married or have girlfriends. I don't advise you to ever do that, but I know some of you are doing that. And a lot of you that are doing that end up in a situation where you're with a man who is promising you of the idea that, yeah, I'm going to get a divorce soon. As soon as I divorce my wife, it's going to be me and you. We're going to run off to a land far, far away. And even some guys are very slick and very sneaky. Even some guys will try to tell you all the reasons that their current relationship is going bad, or all the reasons that their current girlfriend is not the girl they're looking for. They're having so many problems in the relationship, so many issues, everything's falling apart. But they're still in a relationship with that girl. Meanwhile, you're waiting on the sidelines for that relationship to end so that you guys can be in a relationship, but then you guys never end up not being in a relationship. Right? You never end up actually being in a relationship because he never ends up breaking up with that girl. It's just ongoing forever. So you need to stay put and remind yourself that guys are going to use strategies to try to get you off of your stance, right? And to stop getting you to stand on business so that you can be back in their life, because it serves them. It doesn't serve them if you've withdrawn from them, right? That's the actual painful one for them, right? Not you sticking around and just being friends in a casual sense. And not even when you try to say, okay, I'll stick around, but we're not going to sleep together. Guys know, if you're sticking around, that's already a mental and emotional confirmation that you're going to wait. So if you're going to sit here and wait and stick around, even in a friend sense, I can convince you to sleep with me if I make you feel as if I'm almost right there. Guys are not dumb. A little bit emotionally stunted. They're not dumb though. Right? And a lot of times you're confirming to guys that you're willing to wait when you accept the idea that, yeah, we'll just be friends. We won't sleep together. We won't do anything, physical together, but I'll be your friend while I wait for you to be ready to be in a romantic relationship with me. It all works out the same way because they realize, cool, that's my power. I just stay right here. I keep it right there because that's her telling me that she's willing to wait on me, right? Dragonfly says, pick me, pick me. Exactly. You're hoping that eventually one day you will be picked. very dangerous and very horrible for a position for you to be in. Because once you're sitting around waiting to be picked, I can assure you, you will never end up being picked. Never. Never. You'll always be sitting on the sidelines watching all the other women in his life get the opportunity that you wish you could get, right? Get the attention and validation that you wish you could get from him. Get the treatment, the princess treatment and the commitment that you wish you could get, while you consistently sit on the sidelines waiting for that day to come. Right? Does that make sense? So number 1 was letting go. Number 2, drawing a line. Number 3, enjoying yourself. Number 4, staying put. Now, number 5, this is where, let's say, everything that we talk about, you do it absolutely perfectly. And during this process, because remember, doing the thing is not about doing more so that you force him to come to this realization. Doing the thing is giving him the space that you allow him to make whatever decision and come to whatever realization that he needs to come to. But in order for him to properly come to that realization, he needs to be able to contrast what his life is with you versus what his life is without you, and make the decision for himself. Do I want to be in this relationship, or do I want her so badly that life without her is even more painful and I'm not willing to deal with that pain, right, than being with her, right, and being not committed to her? I'd rather have her in my life and be committed to her than not have her at all, right? You're allowing him the space to come to that realization. So let's say he does come to that realization. He approaches you and he says, and he's now like, okay, I said I was thinking about it or unsure about it. Now I know that I'm ready. Okay. Now I know I want to build with you. Can we start off by going out on a date? Can we start off by doing this? Can I call you because I know that I'm ready and I want to be with you, or whatever, right? You only, because remember, I told you, you're not blocking him, because in this specific situation, you do want to allow him to come to the realization if he's going to come to that realization. So you can't block him, because if he can't contact you, then he can't come, he can't express that he came to that realization. So in this scenario, I want you to remember, the only thing you're going to be responding to is the realization that he wants to be with you for real, and he is ready to build with you for real, and he has intention of building this relationship in a long-term romantic sense. If he's not absolutely clear about what his intention is and what he is seeking out of this relationship, and it doesn't come across that he is now here and invested in building this with you and becoming serious in this relationship, nothing else you respond to. No text, no meme, no reel. So if this goes on for 2 months, he doesn't say anything. 3 months, he's just sending you random memes, random reels, just randomly telling you I miss you. By the way, him telling you I miss you is not intention. Okay, him telling you he misses sleeping with you or jackrabbiting himself inside you for 90 seconds is not intention. Okay, him telling you how good your dump truck looks in your tight jeans when you post it on your story, that is not intention. Okay. Right? None of that is the intention to build a romantic relationship with you. None of that is him realizing or telling you that he is now ready to build something. Okay? Right? There needs to be clarity there and an understanding of on both of your parts, that if you're here, you're only here because you're now intending to build a long-term relationship with me. So he cannot come back to you in your life and you do not respond to him if his answer to the question is still, I'm not ready for a relationship, right? So essentially that man only gets you back into his life once he realizes, I'm now ready for a relationship. Now your response is, okay, let's see, right? You don't necessarily just believe him right away. You give him the opportunity. Now that he says, I'm ready for a relationship, you say, let's see. Right? So you don't say that, right? You say, okay, but in your mind, you're thinking, let's see. So let's see what you got. Let's see if you're actually trying to build a relationship or if it's just yibber yabber. Okay? Because some guys are just going to yibber yabber when they see that they've lost you. And then when it comes time to show you something, they ain't got nothing to show you. You don't want that either. Okay? You don't want yibber yabber. Right? You want real deal intention. Okay? So that's why responding to intention is so important. And you cannot respond to anything else that is not intention. Cannot respond to I miss you. You cannot respond to nice words, nice compliments. You don't respond to anything but the reality. Because remember, in this scenario, he has told you, whether it be with his words or with his actions, that he's not interested. Sorry, he's not yet ready for a romantic relationship with you. And if he's expressing that to you, the only way you entertain him or allow him back into your life is if he has made a complete 180, changed his mind, and come to a realization that he is ready. Oh, and by the way, let me mention this as well. For those of you who are a bit on the confused side and in a situation where he either has a girlfriend or he has a situation that needed to be dealt with, whether it be having a clean break off with his ex, right? Or let's say he was having trouble getting over his ex. There was still some ongoing things going on that needed to be resolved, right? The only way a guy gets you back, if he was not ready for a relationship with you because of a situation that was already existing and he needed to resolve that situation before he would be ready for a relationship with you, the only time you respond to him is when that situation has been dealt with. Let me tell you that again, because I know some of you might miss that. I know we're on point number 5 here. If a man tells you he's not ready for a relationship because of some external circumstance or situation, and he comes back to you telling you he's realized he wants to be with you, all that good stuff, you do not entertain anything he has to say until he makes it clear that that situation has been dealt with. Why? Because when guys realize that you've withdrawn after he tells you, yeah, I just feel like I'm not really over my ex, and we had a kid together and that's my baby mom, and we go back and forth and I still have a little bit of feelings for her and things aren't being resolved, so I just don't think I'm ready for a relationship right now. He's not going to get any access to you. You're going to draw a line in the sand. He's going to realize, damn, I lost out on a really great girl. Let me reverse that and come to her and say, you know what? Actually, my bad. I am ready for a relationship. But he actually hasn't solved the situation that was ongoing with his baby mother. So that situation hasn't been resolved. So nothing has actually changed. He's just not comfortable with losing you. So he wants to present to you, actually, let me not say that I'm not ready for a relationship. Let me say that I am ready, even though I'm still not ready. It's only been a week and nothing has changed that much in a week. But I want to still have you. So I'm going to let you know and make you feel like I'm ready for a relationship. You do not allow guys to come back into your life that way until they have resolved whatever external or outward circumstance or situation has been preventing him from being ready in this relationship. Okay? So if it's a divorce, he doesn't get any response from you until the divorce is finalized and actually pen to paper. If it's a situation with an old girlfriend, he doesn't get any access to you, no conversation from you, no friendship from you until he is fully broken up with that girl and she has no part in his life, right? If it's whatever the situation is, if it was his job, if it was his career, if it was whatever it was, he had to move. Whatever it was that was the issue that he was telling you was the reason, because that's what guys are going to do when they try to soften the blow. They're going to tell you that, oh, it's not my fault. It's not because I'm not ready. It's not because I don't want you. It's because of this outward situation that has nothing to do with me. It's because of this situation that I can't control. It's because of this situation that's outside of my control. Why? Because he wants to escape having to take accountability for the fact that he's not here to properly invest himself in you. And he's going to blame it on something else. Cool. Even if that's the honest truth, figure that situation out first. Then you can come to me and build a relationship with me. But you're not going to get me halfway where you haven't figured out that situation, but you're also still getting access to me like you would if you had figured out that situation. It's another one of those things that when you do it this way, this is when you light that fire under his butt and you actually make him motivated to figure out that situation if he really wants to be with you. And like I said, you don't have to announce that. Guys will realize, oh, if I said that I wasn't ready for a relationship because I had a situation ongoing with my ex, well, now that I'm not getting access to her, let me go ahead and close that chapter in my life real quick, because I don't want to lose out on my new girl that I've been talking to that I want to build something with, right? And this is what allows men to be motivated, because he can't be motivated, right, to make a change if he realizes that he doesn't have to make a change and he can still get access to you. You have to treat access to you like a prize or something to be won when you act the right way, or you approach the relationship the right way, or treat you the right way, right? You have to treat access to you like a prize. If you don't treat access to you like a prize, then guys will not have that internal motivation to say, let me fix up, let me adjust myself, let me make sure I'm doing the right thing so that I do have access to her. Are you following along with me? Okay? Does that make sense to you guys so far, and why those are all important? Okay, so number 1 was letting go. Number 2 was drawing a line. Number 3 was enjoying yourself. Number 4, stay put. And number 5, respond only to intention. Now, do you guys have any questions about what we just discussed here today? Right? Does that make sense to you? Okay, right? Very important that you set this up like this. You draw that line. You don't allow things to be confusing. Right? And you only allow him back in when he shows you that he has intention. Maggie says, in the same situation right now, he says he wants to be in my son's life. How do I go about it? This is the thing, right? Guys can talk about what they want to do, right? But at the end of the day, if he's not ready for a relationship, then he's not ready for a relationship. And whatever the reason that he's not ready for a relationship, right? He better figure out how to resolve that. This is the thing I always want to tell you guys. You don't do the work for the man. You're not going to tell him how to resolve his situation. You're not going to tell him how to figure out what he needs to figure out. If he's the one telling you that he's not ready, he better go ahead, go into his life and start doing nothing but trying to figure out and put all his time and energy into figuring out how he can be ready then. Because if he's not ready, he's not going to get access to you. You have to make it that simple. Very, very, very simple. If you're not ready for a relationship, figure out how to get ready, then you can have access to me. Until you figure out how to get ready, you will get nothing from me. Very, very simple. I know it sounds mean. I know it sounds selfish. I know it doesn't sound real kind and real nice and like you're the loving, most selfless person in the world. I need you to understand the only way you receive respect from people, and men especially, is if you set boundaries and you make them hard and fast boundaries. Not by being the nicest, most kind, caring, forgiving person in the world. I'll just be real with you. That's the only way people respect you. Electric Field donates $20 in the YouTube chat. She simply just says, thank you. Thank you so much, Electric Field, for being one of the most amazing, awesome donators ever. And also, thank you to 2Ks and Mishnat in the TikTok chat who both donated throughout the live stream. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And all the rest of you that donated as well. Okay, thank you so much. Right? Mama Wita says, how do I donate? So there's multiple ways you can donate. If you want, you can go onto my YouTube where you can send in the super chat. If you're on TikTok, you can also donate through TikTok. But also there is I forgot to put it in my link in my bio there, but you can donate on PayPal as well. My PayPal link is in my YouTube description. I got to put it on my main description. Okay. So you guys can donate all of those ways, and I'll make that easier for you guys as well in the future. I know you guys like to donate. So does that make sense to all of you? Ebony says a man will say anything, but deaf to words, only see actions. 100%. You only want to see actions. Now, obviously, when a man comes back to you, he's going to be telling you, hey, I'm ready for this. I want to build with you. Can we go out here, or can I go out there? Or he's going to be telling you this situation has been solved. This is where I also want you to be like, okay, those are words, right? But that's intention there. And clearly you say you solved the situation and you say that you're ready. Now it's time for you to let him show that, right? So then that's where the second portion of this comes in, where you allow him to show you that he really means business and he's really ready. And then when all of those things have been confirmed, then you know you're on the right track, right? Someone said you can also support by liking the live. 100%. You guys also support by liking the live because it helps push it out to more people. Okay. Anisha says, will bands make you dance? You're talking about me? You're talking about me? I mean, I love donations. I appreciate all of your donations. Okay. I appreciate them all very much. Right. Venus says, do you believe in the 3-month rule or 6-month rule? Venus, I am not someone that necessarily believes that a time period on a calendar is what should be determining whether or not this relationship is serious or the quality of your relationship. The only reason I say that is because the moment people start thinking of the 90-day rule or the 6-month rule, all they're thinking about is how much time has passed. They're not thinking about how much do I really know about you? How much questions am I asking you? How well of an understanding do I have of not just you when we're on a dinner date on a Saturday night and you're happy and in a good mood, but how much of an understanding of you do I have when you're angry, upset, when you're sad, when you're stressed out, right? When things are going on in your life, when you're not happy with me, right? How do you respond in all of these different situations and circumstances, right? What are your intentions here? Not just by what you say, but by what you actually do. What are you about? Can you keep your word on things? Are you committed, right? Are you consistent? All of those are the things you actually need to be observing and focusing your attention on. But the problem is when you're thinking about, has it been 3 months or has it been 6 months, you're only looking at the calendar and the clock, thinking to yourself that the relationship is more quality or more serious if time has passed. Because the reality of it is in 3 months or in 6 months, you could only see someone a handful of times on dinner dates that last for 2 hours each, where you don't really get to know the other person. And so 3 months went by. Yeah, 3 months in time has went by, but you don't actually know that person any better than, a random person that you would just casually hang out with. So what is really the quality of the relationship there? That's the only thing I always say to that. You guys are going crazy with the donations today over in the TikTok chat. Okay, I think the TikTok chat might even be going crazy with the donations than YouTube today. Okay, thank you so much to all of you that are donating. Thank you to Sandy, who just donated as well. Thank you so much. And Mami Wata, thank you. Appreciate all of you, right? So does that make sense to all of you why this is vitally important for you to do it like this? I know we talked about strategy and I know we talked about the actions that you should take, but I also want you to understand that the actions that you're taking is not meant to force him to want to be in a relationship with you. It's meant to give him the space that when he does, it's meant to give him the space to come to the realization of whether or not he wants to be truly invested in you and this relationship. Okay. It's meant for space. All right. Very important. So with that being said, do you know what time it is? Tell me. Do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Now tell me now. Do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Now tell me in the chat. Do you know what time it is? Now tell me what time it is. Everybody in the chat, just say what time it is. Can you tell me what time it is? I want to know what time it is. I want to know what time it is. I want to know in the chat. I want to know what time it is. I want to know what time it is. Tell me in the chat. Tell me what time it is. I want to know what time it is. I want to tell me in the chat right now what time it is. I want to know what time it is. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at the clock. Don't look on your phone. Don't look in the spot. I want to tell you what time it is. You better tell me what time it is. I want you to say what time it is. Everybody, what time it is? Okay, guys, let's head all over into the Discord. I know some of you are a bit confused because you're like, what is Discord time? What does any of this mean? I'm really confused. It's okay to be confused. Discord time is essentially where all the beautiful members of the Players Club get the opportunity to ask me and the chat questions of their relationships or situationships, and I answer them live on the show. And give my opinion and advice, okay? So if you want to ask your question to me in the Discord, all you have to do, it's very simple, and I even got a new link now, so it'll work easy for you guys. All you have to do is go over to the link in my bio. If you're on TikTok, you click the link in my bio, and then you head over where it says join the Discord, and it'll take you right to the relationship advice section where you can ask and structure your question, how it's meant to be structured, and you can ask your question there in the Discord, and I will answer it live live on the show. Let me give you some a word though. That all of these are ordered in the date that they were posted. So just keep that in mind, that there is a queue and a line of people that need to be answered before I will get to your question, okay? And there's lots of amazing questions in the Discord. So you're going to have to join me every single day so that you know what day your question is answered, all right? So just keep that in mind. Now, so first we have Amanda. So Amanda says, on the struggle bus, dating after a long-term relationship. Okay, let's see what Amanda has to say. So Amanda says, I love your lives and would appreciate your insight on my situation. Sorry, this is long. Okay, there's nothing wrong with details. I'm 22. I broke up with my 22-year-old ex at the end of May. We were together for 3.5 years. He was my first love. The last year of our relationship, there were major cracks. Example, he stopped putting in any effort and truly did not care anymore. But I ignored all of them because of how much I loved him and wanted it to work. I felt like I couldn't lose him. But my final breaking point was when I started to get hints and a gut feeling that he may be cheating on me. Wow. Okay. Finally, one day I had the opportunity, I had the opportunity and the courage to check his phone. I was right. Wow. Okay. See what you found. He was talking to multiple girls and hooking up with one girl on numerous occasions for the past 6 months. I was devastated, but I knew I needed to end it. Wow. For 6 months? That doesn't sound like this is he's hooking up with one girl for 6 months. Could that be his new girlfriend? Let's find out. I was devastated, but I knew I needed to end it. There was no hope left. I agree. We started no contact middle of June, and I haven't spoken to him since. Amanda, why are you referring to it as no contact? Wouldn't that just be breaking up? You're making me nervous. I have been healing these past few weeks, but I have been getting this crave for love again. Okay. I thought you were going to say for his love, for love again. Not a crime. I understand. When you're accustomed to loving someone for 3.5 years, it's going to be hard to just break away from that, right? Last week, one night, I decided to download Tinder. Why would you do that? You just said you're looking for love again and you're on Tinder. Better than Snapchat, at least, honestly. Can't even be mad. I knew it was a horrible idea, but I still did it anyways. Okay, guys, but then why not go outside of your house instead? Okay? Like, why don't you take steps outside of your house? I know that opening your phone, opening up the app and just swiping is the easiest thing to do without any effort. But I want you to also be thinking to yourself, the things that require the least effort usually yield you the worst results. So stepping outside of your house, getting ready and looking good and going somewhere that you enjoy, that's the most nerve-wracking, that's the most anxiety-inducing, but that will yield you the best results. Way better than hopping on Tinder. I know Tinder is way easier, but you're going to see way lower quality results by doing that. Okay? I matched with a 21-year-old man. How old are you again? You're 22. Okay. Not that big of an issue. He messaged first, of course, it's Tinder. And after about a day of chatting, he asked for my number and wanted to set up a date. Let's see how this goes. He asked me out to the movies. We went to the movies. He paid and seemed really nice. They always seem really nice at first. But that's a stranger. After the movies, he invited me to sit in his car for a while to talk. Yes, that's all we did. Only talk and listen to music. By the way, this is one side note that I'll give to you guys as a little bit of dating advice. I do advise you never to go on first dates to a movie. Not because movies are horrible things, but because you don't get anything out of that. You just sit beside the person and you watch the movie together. So you leave that date not really having a better understanding of who they are, what they're about, or if this is even someone that you vibe or get along with. So I do understand why you guys had a little talk after, because you're not talking during the movie. But that's part of the reason why I advise to not go on your first couple of dates at the movies, because you don't walk away with any more information about the person or the relationship. relationship. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why you're there. Just a side note. One thing that's important to point out, he said his body count was 5, but all 5 girls he ever slept with were ex-girlfriends. I'm not going to judge him. That is his life. But 5 ex-girlfriends at 21 years old. How long are these relationships lasting? Number one. And 5 girlfriends at 21? Like, that's insane. I don't know. That's just, let me not even judge, but that sounds a little bit strange to me. Okay. Maybe it's because I didn't start doing that till later, like 5 at 21. And he won't sleep with the girl unless it's his girlfriend. Okay. He also said his last relationship lasted 6 months. Okay. So see, I ain't not dumb. Like I said, 5 at 21 must either mean he was dating back since he was 14, or, these relationships are lasting very short stints. And so for a serious relationship, like a serious one with your girlfriend and boyfriend, for that to be lasting 6 months, that's something you should really be digging deeper on and getting an understanding of why did you have a whole relationship, commit yourself to someone, date seriously, and that only lasted 6 months, because it either means bad decision making or for whatever reason, things were not working out on a drastic scale. And it ended because he wasn't feeling her or the relationship anymore. This is very bad, because as a man, he's meant to be pursuing the woman that he wants and he wants to commit himself to. So if he's going out and saying, I want you to be my girlfriend, and then 6 months down the line, he says, yeah, I thought I wanted you to be my girlfriend, but now I realize I'm not really feeling you anymore and I don't like you that much, then that speaks to his lack of ability to even understand what he wants. He doesn't have enough clarity within himself that he can identify a woman that he likes and say, I like you, but I also know why I like you. So when I start dating you, I'm not just going to wake up one day and say, actually, I don't really like you anymore. Right? It kind of sounds more like he's a dog chasing after his tail, where his mind goes and blows with the wind, where one day he likes a girl and she's the next best thing because she's shiny and new. And then 6 months after that, when she's not shiny and new, you're not that cool anymore. You're not that interesting. I don't really like you. Right? Sounds like shiny new toy type of guy. These are the type of things that I start thinking of when I hear these type of things, right? Which I thought may be a red flag. It is, considering what I've been through. After the date, we hugged and texted the same night asking if I wanted to go on a dinner date tomorrow. I was just going to say this. When a guy is a shiny new toy guy, you'll notice shiny new toy guys are the most excited about you when they have just met you. So not that it's necessarily a red flag that he would go to the movies with you and then book a dinner date right after, but that's an interesting note and thing to think about, that this same guy committed himself to a woman and then 6 months down the line said, yeah, I'm not really feeling you anymore. But this is the same guy that just met you on Tinder. You guys just went to the movies and the next day he wants to see you. Doesn't that sound a lot like the shiny new toy theory that I was just discussing, where when you're shiny and new, that's when he's the most excited about you. But as soon as you stop becoming shiny and new, things go downhill quickly. Let's see. I haven't read this ahead of time, but let's see where this ends up going. Okay, let's see if I'm an idiot. Asking me the same night if I wanted to go on a dinner date tomorrow. I started to get really excited about this guy. Of course you did. So let's see what happens. But my feelings go downhill from here. We had a good time at dinner. He paid and we got in his car to talk for longer. After a while of talking, he went to kiss me and asked if I wanted to go to the back seat. Nice. On date number 2, you're already a backseat bandit to him. Nice. Are you even in an empty parking lot, or he just wants to take you in a parking lot full of people where they can watch you too, so that you can even be more shame? Let's go on. Unfortunately, I did not resist the temptation. I can't even read the rest of that sentence. Please, you guys just read it for yourself. Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. Oh God. Save these people. I need a moment. Sorry. Amanda, it's date number 2. Okay. We'll even call it date number 1.5 because the first date you went to the movies. I understand. It felt great to be in love with someone and connect with someone, and you got accustomed to feeling that way and being that close to someone and being intimate. You're 22 years old. You're still young. But that cannot excuse the stupidity at which you're moving. Okay? You met the guy on Tinder. Already not a good sign. He told you essentially that he's a shiny new toy type of guy, meaning that he gets really excited and hyped about girls at the very beginning, and his interest in them falls off a cliff later. He even told you a direct example of that with his ex. He was excited to be with her to the point where he asked her to be his girlfriend at the very beginning. They dated for 6 months, and after 6 months of dating, he said, not that excited about you anymore. That is already a very, very clear sign that this is someone you should be pacing yourself with, meaning you should be taking your time so that both you and him especially knows that he's really committed to you and he really likes you. Not that you're shiny and new and that's why he likes you because you're shiny and new, but he likes you because he actually likes the contents of your character and who you are. That is something that both you and him need to be hyper aware of before you hop into anything. So for you to do this on what is essentially date 1.5, because the first date was a movie, you're not even getting to know him, and you had a short talk afterwards. So that's like half a date. The second date, you go to dinner, and then you're in the back seat in a parking lot that's probably not even empty, probably right outside of this place that you guys went to eat dinner. And you're hiking up your skirt, getting penetrated in the back seat of a Toyota Corolla. And you expect this man to now think that you're the type of woman that he wants to make his wife. I really need you to envision that so you can start thinking to yourself, how am I presenting myself to a guy that I want to take me seriously? Because how you're presenting yourself and how I know or assume, that you want to be taken as or be perceived as, those two things aren't in line. Okay? Nothing wrong with being dirty and nasty for your boyfriend, but getting in the back seat and doing it dirty and nasty after you finish at the dinner date when you just met this guy from Tinder and you're on the date 1.5 is not a good sign. And you're not gonna end up being in a place that you want to be in. Okay, let's go on, even though I'm in pain. After we were sitting in his car, and I don't know if this was a good idea. Wait, what? This is the part coming up that you don't know if it's a good idea, not the sleeping with him. Okay, but I asked him if he was having pineapples and talking to other girls. Are you Amanda? Are you kidding me? Amanda, please tell me, for my sanity, this sentence is a joke or a typo that you did not mean to type this way. Amanda. Please tell me you did not. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Amanda, you finished going on the date, slurp at this, maybe it's an Italian restaurant, you slurped your noodles, sauce all over your face. You walked to the car with this man on date 1.5. You sat in his car, then you went to the backseat. You're a backseat bandit now. You hiked up your skirt and you got penetrated in the backseat of a dusty, dingy Toyota Corolla with cloth seats, not even the leather seats. Then directly after getting penetrated in a Toyota Corolla, you pulled your skirt down, right? Put your underwear back over. And then you proceeded to ask him if he's talking to any other girls after you, I can't even say it, after you just got penetrated. Why, Amanda, why would you think that that was the appropriate order of operations? To sleep with him first in a parking lot of the restaurant that you went to, and then proceed to that is when you come up with the bright idea, maybe I should get this information on whether or not he's talking to other girls. Amanda, I know you're young, but you're not that young. I know you're new to the dating scene, but you're not that naive and you're not that stupid. You're acting off of emotion instead of acting with intention. It was already a bad choice to sleep with him in the back of the car. It was an even worse choice to sleep with him, then proceed to say basically and essentially, you asked him, what are we now? You've given him all the power that he could possibly ask for. And then you proceeded to ask him, what are we? Because what are you going to say? If he looked in your eyes, right, in his dingy, dusty Toyota Corolla while he's picking up his boxers, probably got nut stains on his boxers now, and he's putting on his boxers, and you say, are you talking to any other girls? And he says, yeah, I'm actually talking to 30 other girls. Actually, you're the third girl I've slept with today. What are you going to say? What are you going to do? You're going to walk away? You already slept with him. You already wasted a body. You're going to say, no, you can't do that? He does what he wants, and he already got you. So what are you going to say now? What power are you going to have in this conversation? Anything he responds to you, you're going to have to accept it, right? And because you've invested yourself in him and you've now slept with him, you're going to feel like you have to deal with anything he says. You have zero power. So my even deeper question to you is, after you sleep with him, why bother even asking this question? Because anything he responds to you, you have to accept. You've already given yourself away to him. The idea that you're going to ask this question and then you're going to say, well, you're not going to be able to sleep with me anymore if you're going to be talking to other girls is comical because he already slept with you. So what does it matter? You're the one who's in a position of weakness. If we think about this in terms of business and negotiation, you have no leverage to negotiate any terms or conditions that you want because he's already received everything that he would want from you. You have nothing to bargain with, no leverage to bargain with. Anyways, he said no, he thinks it would be stupid to talk to more than one girl at once. Once again, he could say anything to you and you would have to accept it. You've already invested yourself into him and slept with him. What was the point of asking? The trust issues in me does not believe him. Okay. Amanda, if your trust issues do not believe him, why would you sleep with him then? I really hate when you guys do this. Why are you telling me all the ways that a guy that you slept with is not the guy that you are looking for, or isn't in line with what you're looking for, or he's not your type, or you have questions about him, you have questions about the relationship? So why don't you get those questions answered before sleeping with him? Like, there is an order of operations. Stop sleeping with guys and then asking questions after. Like, where do they do that at? Where do they do that at? Where you sleep with a guy and then ask questions about him and the relationship after. No, you ask questions about him and the relationship first and use that information to decide whether you should sleep with him. Stop. At a certain point, it honestly stops being about the guys playing you and it starts being you guys are like intentionally playing yourself. Who does that? That's like handing someone $10,000 and saying, give me whatever you want to give me. And then when he gives you a piece of paper or he gives you garbage that he picked up off the floor in exchange for his $1,000, you're like, I was expecting you to give me something more valuable than a piece of garbage. Well, you handed me $10,000 and said, give me whatever you want to give me. I don't get it. Maybe I'm confused and I'm just too much of a grandpa to understand how this makes sense to be doing this in this order. But to me, it's just so stupid. And this doesn't even come across to me like that guy played you. Like you really played yourself. Like you did this to yourself. I really don't understand why you would do that like that, Amanda, truthfully. Like I mentioned earlier, he claimed he only has had pineapples with girlfriends, but I'm not his girlfriend. It's like you're answering your own questions on why this was a horrible decision. And we have only been on 2 dates and known each other less than a week. So I really am struggling to understand, how can you message me all this but not think of any of this while this situation was happening? Guys, you really need to get really good at being forward thinking about the decisions you're making in the moment. I promise you, it will really save your life and change the way you go about things. When you can actually start thinking to yourself, okay, cool, I'm in this position and feeling like this right now. But if I made this decision right now, what are the possibilities that could end up happening in the future? And I want you to start thinking about your life as it exists in the future, as opposed to thinking about your life as it exists in the present. Because when you're only thinking about your life how it exists in the present, you'll only be thinking about how things serve you right now, not how things affect you down the line. You're asking me red flag. You just mentioned why it's a red flag. You're not dumb. Like I said before, that date was on Friday. Now it's Monday. We have texted, but he has not mentioned another date yet. Of course not. You slept with him in the backseat of his dirty, dingy Toyota Corolla, hiked your skirt up, and got penetrated in a probably not even empty parking lot. Side note, I have not been on Tinder since we started dating, but logged on today. Why? So you can have more trauma and make more mistakes? Checked his profile and saw he changed his bio, meaning he must still be active. It makes me question if he's playing me. Of course he's playing you. Of course he is. Of course he is. Actually, sorry. I'm actually being too nice to you. You're playing yourself and you played yourself. He didn't play you. Okay? He didn't pull any magical tricks out on you. He didn't pull any super crazy strategy out on you. All he did was take you out on one date. You chose to sleep with him. You consented sleeping with him, despite all the questions, despite none of the understanding of what this relationship is, despite no consistency, right? All he did was take you out on 1.5 dates, and you chose to sleep with him in the backseat of his car. Okay? You told me that you willingly did that. You played yourself. Right after you slept with him, you asked him a bunch of questions, feeling like you couldn't trust him and feeling like this wasn't the right time to do it. So you should have been thinking about that before you did it. There comes a certain point where you have to be an adult that takes accountability for your actions. So I'm going to be real with you, Amanda. He's not playing you. You played yourself. Questions, I want to see him again. Really? You have that little self-respect? Are you that desperate? That desperate? You need to find some things that you can do for you instead of making your life about boys. Seems like you're boy crazy. Should I ask him out since he asked me on the first 2 dates, or wait for him to ask me out again? Chat, please respond to her so that she can know how bad of a decision this would be to make. Amanda, I need to take my time with you. Do not ask that man out on a date. I'm going to put it that simply. I don't want to freak out. I don't want to get mad. Do not ask that man out on a date. Okay? Unless you want to be a man. I don't have a problem with that. If you want to be a man, you want to give your man princess treatment, go ahead and ask him out on a date. If you want to stay a woman, stay in your feminine energy, you do not ask that man on a date. Don't even think about it. Don't even dream about it. If you dream about it, I want you to wake yourself up out of that dream. I really don't want to chase this man. That's exactly what you're thinking about doing. Okay? You need to let this go. I can tell you're new to the Players Club because you wouldn't even be asking some of these questions if you had joined me for quite some time. I feel like he's not pursuing me in the way that I would expect a man to pursue. 100%. And this is the most amazing part and why I tell you, Amanda, you're not an idiot. Because you are actually in your message identifying all the reasons why a bad decision to make would be to sleep with this type of guy early on. And you're letting me know in detail why that decision would be wrong or not the right choice. But why can't you think of that when you're making the choice? It's like there's a disconnect between knowing what you should be doing and doing the actual thing. He does not express much over text that he enjoys time with me and how much he likes me. He likes sleeping with you. Simple. He has said it in person. Yeah, he likes penetrating you, and he probably said that before he penetrated you so that he could penetrate you. But I have been out of the dating game for a while, clearly. So maybe my expectations are too high and I'm taking it too fast. No, I want to say you're being naive, but the only reason I don't want to say you're being naive is because you're actually letting me know all the reasons why this was a bad decision. So you're not naive. You actually know what's going on. You're just making an active choice to not accept the fact that what I feel or what my mind is telling me or my gut or my intuition is the truth, right? We have only known each other for a short time, and maybe I need to give it more time to grow. What to grow? For him to sleep with you longer and commit to you less? The red flag in me is comparing everything this man does to my ex. Is this normal? This isn't even a relationship. There is a part of me that still misses my ex, although I am mentally and emotionally checked out from the relationship with my ex and I would never go back with him. Maybe this is showing that I am not healed enough and should not be dating. Your thoughts? Amanda, wow, you are an amazing person. You literally answered all of your own questions in this entire message. You literally said at the end here, you are not ready to be dating. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to project the feelings of love you once had towards your ex and in the relationship that you were in with your ex, and you're trying to project that onto any new guy. Truthfully and honestly, this is not to diss you, but Amanda, the man that you met on Tinder could have had one arm, one leg. He could have been a stump. He could have been 5 foot tall. He could have been broke. He could have worked at McDonald's. He could have been anyone. He could have been ugly. You were ready to love someone so badly and be intimate or be close, feel close to someone so badly, it honestly didn't matter who it was. Okay? So the attachment you feel to him or wanting to grow this relationship with him is actually not at all a function of him being amazing, him being awesome, or him being someone that you really want to be with. It's simply because you want to feel connected and romantic with someone because you felt that way with your ex for 3.5 years. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, but you need to heal from that and rediscover yourself. Make yourself whole again so that when you go into your new relationships, right, or explore new relationships, you're not feeling to yourself like, oh my God, my life is not good unless I have a romantic partner who I can love on. Because that's the place you're in now, and your mind is still focused on being in love and being, feeling close to someone. So you naturally project whatever feelings you once had for your ex onto a new guy very quickly because you want to continue feeling like you're in love or really intimate and close with someone. Very dangerous game for you, the woman, because now you're committing yourself to guys who have no commitment to you. And so all of those are reasons why you're not ready for a relationship overall. And let me make this very clear to you. That guy is not interested in building any sort of relationship with you either. I don't care if he texts you for a couple more weeks. I can 100% guarantee you it will eventually dwindle away into nothing. You just mentioned earlier that he's still on Tinder. You just mentioned that you checked his profile and he's active and he's making changes, which means he's trying to see if he can recreate that with a whole bunch of other women where he only has to take them out. Movies cost what? If he took you out on a Tuesday, movies cost what? $12, $13? Maybe he bought you a small, probably medium popcorn, layered butter. So what? He spent $20, $25, $30 on you on the first date. Second date, maybe he took you out to a 2.5-star restaurant that was cheap. Maybe he brought a coupon with him. He spent what? Another $30, $40 on the date. And he slept with you. Good deal for him. Couple coupon codes. He might even save him an extra 10, 20. Okay. I say that to say didn't mean much to him. Didn't require much commitment or effort from him. Just going to be real with you. You played yourself, and the reason you played yourself is because you're not an idiot. You're not so naive that you can't understand why he would do this or be suspect as to why his actions are the way his actions are. You mentioned them in your message. So for all of those reasons, this was a horrible mistake, and I need you to collect yourself, take this loss, take it on the chin, and use it as a lesson that never get on Tinder again, okay? And start healing so that the next time you go into a relationship, hopefully you don't find the man on Tinder or Hinge or any dating app, that you can utilize your experience here to pace yourself and not be in the back of his Toyota Corolla getting yourself jackrabbited for 90 seconds. Okay. I hope that helps you, Amanda. Next we have here, let's see. I know that was a long one, guys. Next we have here, let me scroll. Next is Libra Sapphire. Okay, interesting name. Libra Sapphire says, does this man just want me for his visa? Interesting. I'm 28, get lots of attention from my coworker who's 30 from Yucatan. What area is that around? Is that Middle Eastern? Is that Russia? Where is that? I don't know where that is. Who's been in the U.S. for 1 year. He doesn't speak much English. I don't speak much Spanish. Oh, it's in Mexico? Okay, in Mexico. We help each other learn. We are always laughing, having fun, and learning about each other's hobbies and families. I have one son, and he has kids in Mexico. Where's his baby mom? In Mexico? He asked me questions about my son's dad, and if I'm seeing anyone. Always compliments me, tells me how funny and honest I am, that he wants to be my boyfriend. So this is like your work husband. Nice. A Latin work husband. Nice. And always feeds me at work. Feeds you food or feeds you... Never mind. He asked me to go to Yucatan with him when we first met. I laughed, said no. Then he asked if I'll go to Yucatan in 1 year, to which I laughed and said, sure, joking. Yeah. He clearly has game. That's game? Is this game chat? Asking someone to go to Yucatan with you? That's game? Interesting. I didn't know that one. Yeah, I'll put that trick in my toolbox. He's a musician, okay? I am too, and is tall for a Mexican man. Okay. I've seen him chatting, leaving work with a woman who works in our building and never bring it up. Sorry. I also want to address, I get everyone has a little bit of a different situation, but did you ever ask him why he's here in the U.S. and his children are living there? Like, did you ever ask him what his plan is? Is his plan to move his children there with him, or just to consistently work in the U.S. forever and never see his children? I don't know. I'm just asking you, like, I'm curious if you asked him that. He told me 2 months ago, people never ask questions, so I guess nobody cares, right? It's just about feeling good. He told me 2 months ago he's sad because he broke up with his girlfriend because she wanted too many gifts / money. Is his girlfriend his baby mom? Because that drastically changes things. Also, is he not working in the U.S. to make more money? So, I mean... not out of the realm of possibility that his woman who lives in Mexico would want some money if he's making good. I don't know. None of this makes sense. He works 3 jobs and doesn't spend on himself. He's a provider for his children that don't live with him and has a family in Mexico to provide for also. What do you mean also? Isn't that the extent of the people he's providing for? This is a bit confusing here. We hung out. I feel like you're not asking him a lot of questions, which is why there's a lot of gaps in this logic here. We hung out once outside of work to have drinks in between our second jobs. I thought he was trying to kiss me. I put my arms up and stepped back and said, no, LOL. You love the attention though. Let's be for real. But he was just trying to kiss the cheeks, which I allowed. The next day, I saw him leave work in the other woman's car. This is a joke. If you sleep with this guy after this, I'll be shocked. I know he's also pursuing women at other jobs, besides asking me to go dance with him, which I always turn down, too physical for now. He hasn't asked me out to dinner. Does he just want his papers or pineapples? Also, no, I'm non-binary, transitioning female to male. Is that what FTM means? I don't know. I'm unfamiliar, guys. I'm unfamiliar. Is STM mean female to male? I don't know. I've been on testosterone for 2 years and really masculine, wear men's clothes, and I'm hairy. Okay. Most men who approach me are bi and they like it. But sometimes straight men think I'm insecure, easy prey for pineapples because of my gender expression. Wait, what? I'm a bit confused. I'm confused. Why would straight, okay. So if you're going from female to male and you said you're looking more like a man now, wouldn't that mean that straight men wouldn't be attracted to you because you're looking like a man now? So why would the straight men? I'm just a little bit confused there. I don't get that part. With these factors, my masculinity, language barrier, woman at work, and not getting asked on a serious date, should I let it go? Okay, now, I'm really confused now. I'm not gonna lie to you because I'm trying to understand. So the Mexico man, he is bi, I'm guessing. Like, okay, this is okay. Currently, are you looking more like, you said you're dressing more like a man. So is this like a period that's ever since he's known you at work, you've been looking more like a man? So he's more attracted to you being a man? Or have you like at first been looking like a girl and like over time you started looking more like a man at work? That's just the part that I'm not sure about. I mean, either way, clearly he's bi, but okay, so he has a family. So clearly he doesn't have a problem being attracted to women. You're obviously not resembling a woman and you're transitioning to not be a woman anymore. I honestly couldn't tell you what he wants because I'm unsure what, because you're transitioning and you're saying you attract bi guys, but you're also talking about straight guys. I'm unsure what you're more closely resembling here. And it's just making me a little bit confused as to what he could be doing here, because if he's like just bi-curious, that doesn't necessarily mean that he wants to build a relationship with you. But also, if he's going home with other women, he could be building relationships with those women, and he might not even have any intention of doing anything with you, but just casually flirting with you, which is why I obviously don't know his orientation. So I couldn't speak to that, whether that would be true or not, whether he's just messing around or whether he actually wants to build a relationship, because some people might be physically attracted to other genders, and when it comes to actually dating them, they're not into that, if that makes any sense. And so I don't know how that guy feels about that. And him exploring other women or going home with other women, even though we don't know what's going on, we don't really know if he's taking you serious or the possibility of you serious. Obviously, he hasn't asked you on a date, so that's a sign that he's not taking it serious. But I say all that to say, I think for many reasons, I think the best thing for you to do is just chill out and not do much, because I don't think that his desire for you is as burning as it would need to be if he was actually going to build a relationship with you. You understand what I'm saying? And if it's not that burning, that he only wants to flirt with you and, just kind of have some fun, kiss you on the cheek, kiss you on the lips at work, it sounds more like he just wants to be your work husband, right? Work husband for fun and not for actual investment and building something with you, if that makes any sense, right? Yeah. Because if he did want to do that, then he would, at the very least, ask to see you outside of work. And from what you said, he hasn't even asked you that. So I don't think that there's any real intention there. The visa thing is funny, but I think from what you said, there's nothing particular that you said that would make me think he's after a visa from you, because he hasn't even entertained growing a relationship with you. Does that make sense? Right? So let's go to the next one. I want to do one more because those two were long and I want to do a few more, or at least one more. Okay. The next one here, let's see. Starshine, hot and cold. Okay. So Starshine says, hi, coach. Coach? Is that what you guys call me now? Coach? Thank you for the glorious reply to my question last month. Glorious. Another conceptual challenge I'm bringing to your attention. Okay. It seems you're only talking about the cold part of the hot and cold manipulation strategy. What about the hot one? Okay. Can you please unravel and elaborate on what we should do in terms of communication as opposed to what we should not do? When is it okay to become sweet and validating, to show your soft side and give them a feel for our lover girl side? When should we apply the hot love bombing techniques, if ever? I don't necessarily advise any of you to be love bombing other people. I just don't think that that's necessary to what you're trying to do or accomplish. As it relates to validating and showing your softer side, I think that should only really come out. And I'm not saying you should be a horrible person, but I'm saying like when you're actually talking about investing yourself, divulging more information, showing your softer side, like you just mentioned, this should come when he's already committed himself to you. So when he acknowledges to you that I want to build this relationship with you and I want to be your boyfriend and I want you to be my girlfriend, that comes out of his mouth, not what you want for him or what you force him to do because you're not going to be with him if he doesn't want to date you. When it comes out of his mouth and he's like, I want you to be my girlfriend and I want us to take this next level, that's when you start saying, okay, now I'm going to let my guard down. Now I'm going to show you a bit more of my softer side. Now I'm going to, right? Because this is kind of like how the relationship takes the next step and the next level. Because now that he's acknowledged, I'm here to be truly committed to you, he gets to see an even better, more intense, stronger side of you where you show him back my commitment to you. Do you understand? Are you following me so far? So he says, "Milady, I would love for you to be mine. I would love to take your hand and give you the world." And in his acknowledgement of that and in his commitment to you, right? You know, like in the olden days, they used to cut their hand just to show you how committed they are to you. You know what I mean? It's like a blood commitment or whatever. I don't know what they call it, right? And it was to show how committed he is to you. Then after he shows how committed he is to you, you can start giving yourself to him. Are you following me? Right? Someone says it's a blood oath. Yes, that's what it is, right? And that's when you give yourself to him. I know that sounds like, oh my God, so I'm not supposed to be my lover girl or soft girl self until he finally commits to me. That's like so down the road. That's like 3 months, 6 months, however many months. Yes, because the whole purpose of what you're doing is not for you to be giving every man, every stranger that you go out on a date with, that you meet on Hinge, access to you the same way a man who was committed to you would get. The whole purpose of this is for the guys who want you and want to pursue you, for you to be evaluating them and deciding who is the man that is the most serious, that is in line with what I'm looking for. When he identifies himself as what you're looking for and he also commits himself to you, that is the only man that gets that side of you once he has committed himself to you. So not the random men that you go on Hinge dates with, not the random men that you meet online, not the random men that you send memes and Instagram reels to, only one man. But that's a good thing. You don't want to be giving yourself in all of these ways, intimately, emotionally, spiritually, to multiple men. Part of the reason why I never advise any of you to be dating multiple guys at once. Some other people, I'm not going to say names, some other people might tell you date 3 men, date 4 men, date 5 men, have as many men as you can possibly get on the roster so that you'll be detached and you won't care about anything and you'll be free to do what you want because this is how you become liberated as a woman. My honest advice to you, we focus a lot on the emotional here, is not to be dating multiple people. It's to date one person at a time until you identify that this relationship no longer serves you. Then you cut it off completely. Once you cut it off completely, then you can date a different person. That way you can properly be invested in evaluating the person that you're dating and knowing if this is what you're looking for or if it's not. Not having halfway relationships. I don't think that works or benefits you in the long term. A wholesome romantic dynamic should naturally include being sweet, kind, loving, and soft with our specific person. Yes and no. I'm not saying that you have to be a horrible person in the way that you treat people, but I do want you to be doing a lot of nothing when guys are pursuing you. Why? Because you don't have to. The guys are pursuing you. This is part of the problem. Starshine, you're suffering from this too. When a guy starts pursuing you heavy and he's doing a lot for you, you start creating a lot of internal pressure within yourself, thinking, oh my God, you're showing me everything I want and you're showing me how committed you are to me. That means I must give you something in return. No. He's pursuing you because he wants you. Let him continue pursuing you. Because the moment you start thinking, let me do more for you, you start thinking, well, you've taken me on dates, you've been kind to me, you've been nice to me, you've been sweet to me, so that must mean you deserve to have me spread my legs open and have you penetrate me. No. If he's been doing that without you doing that for him, then you don't need to start doing that now. Keep it where it is and keep him pursuing you and trying to get more for you. You got to hold some things back so that he can say, I want to commit myself to you because I want the next level of access to you. I want the next level of commitment from you, right? You understand what I'm saying? There has to be more to be desired so that he's motivated to continue pushing forward. To become the honey he keeps craving, how can I make him addicted in that sense? You have the wrong mindset. You're thinking about how to do more for the guy and scrub the floor, as opposed to only ignoring him, not initiating, making him miss me. This is everything that makes him addicted to you. This is the problem. Your thinking, making him want you, is about scrubbing the floor squeaky clean and doing more to be seen. That only makes you more uninteresting. I always tell you to do nothing because nothing is actually what inspires the guy to pursue after you. And that's where the guy naturally even wants to be. He doesn't want you in a place where you're trying to do the most to be seen and noticed by him. He'll actually find that quite unattractive and he'll stop pursuing you. That's what I'm trying to explain to you all. He should actually have something to miss, right? Yes. This is why you only focus on giving guys a great experience of you in person. And when he's not with you in person, you don't worry about him having a good experience of you. You actually want him to feel like he really wants to spend more time with you because he doesn't get anything from you when he's not in person with you, right? That's a good thing because then he's able to contrast how good it feels to be with you in person, versus how horrible it feels to not be with you when he's not around you in person because you don't speak to him and he doesn't get to see you or hear from you. How do I instill pleasant emotions and associations so he becomes addicted and feels pain when I withdraw? I just told you. You make it feel good when he's with you in person. And like I said, how you make people feel good is not about doing more, okay? So when you're in person, you ask a lot of questions. Be inquisitive, use your body language and your words to make him feel as if he is the most fascinating person to you. You don't have to tell him, I like you so much. I actually don't advise you to ever do that. Don't tell him, I like you so much. I love you so much. You're the most awesome person ever. Just make him feel like he's the most interesting person ever. And as he's telling you more about himself, sharing how he feels, sharing about his life, sharing about his hobbies and his passions and his mind and everything he's ever thought in his entire life, I want you to make him feel like he is the most fascinating, interesting person to him. That becomes an addiction because he feels like you're finally someone who asked him about him, that he can share, he can be honest with, that is non-judgmental, that he can literally pour his heart out to. So that in his mind, right, you start resembling, right, the key role of someone who is like, this is where all of my emotional investment goes into this person. And I don't like not having this person in my life because then I don't feel like I have someone to talk to, someone to share with, someone who I feel like I can be myself around. That's good for you. That gets him more addicted to you, but it also only works if it's in contrast with him not having access to you outside of seeing you in person and taking you out on dates. Because what happens if that's the only way it happens is he then wants to see you and take you out on more dates, right? I respect your genius, and I'm sure you'll understand the complicated nuance and the juxtaposition I'm addressing. P.S. Please share your thoughts on good night and good morning texts once you're dating but have not moved in together. Are these a good idea? And if not, why? I don't have a problem with good night and good morning texts if this is your boyfriend. It's just like, you know, that's your boyfriend. So what I'm trying to help you guys understand, the meanness or the strictness that you have to operate with takes a step down once that man has already committed himself to you. Not that you shouldn't ever be focused on building his attraction to you or anything like that, but like things like good morning and good night text, like this is part of the consistency of the relationship when you're in a committed one. But as it relates to when you're not in one, especially at the very beginning, you don't need to be worried about good night and good morning text. You need to be focused on the in-person interaction more than anything else. Okay? So I'll let that be known to you. All right. Does that make sense? Star, Shine, and everyone else? All right. So that was let me exit out of this. That was the show for today. I know I only answered a few questions because they were long. Don't worry. If I didn't get to yours, I will be answering questions tomorrow on tomorrow's show as well. So just stay tuned for that. Now, for those of you who didn't get a chance to send in your question, make sure you do so. If you're on TikTok, all you have to do, nice, Timmy, just wait. All you have to do if you want to submit your question, you go over to the link in my bio, you'll click it. Once you click it, you'll see the Discord option where you can join the Discord. Click join the Discord. Once you open up the Discord, it'll take you right to the relationship advice section, and you can type out and ask your question there, and it'll be there for me to answer on the show. Very simple. I make it very simple for you guys. For those of you who are on TikTok or on YouTube and you want to ask your question, just go over to the pinned comment. But if you're watching this after the fact, all you have to do is go into the link in the description at the bottom and click the Discord link, and it'll take you to the same place as well. Okay. For those of you who love me so much and you want to follow me on Instagram because you want to see everything that I'm doing all day, every day, my Instagram is right above my head there. And you can follow me on Instagram there. You can type it in on Instagram and you can find me there. It'll be so awesome. You can see everything I'm doing 24/7. All right. And for those of you who are on TikTok and you didn't get a chance to watch this entire show and you missed parts of it, feel free to go over to my YouTube. My YouTube is right above my head on the right side of the screen. Just type in my name. When you got on my YouTube page, just go into the live section and you'll be able to access this live stream along with all the other live streams I've ever done in the past. And you'll be able to see and watch this live stream with the YouTube and the TikTok live chat embedded in the video. So you'll get all the context there as well. All right. I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday. So I will be back for you here on this show on tomorrow. I said on tomorrow. Okay. At 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So until then, au revoir, arrivederci, goodbye for now, hasta la vista, adios, and I will see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, sharp. I love you so much. Have a great rest of your day or night or morning, depending on where you are in the world.